welcome. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. I appreciate you. Thank you for connecting. Please share the broadcast as you join, share and like on your platform, connect to others so that we can be able to send this message across.
Not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth, to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isobo. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all these we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you aha dị nsọ si n'ebighị ebi ruo n'ebighị ebi.
Ise, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for connecting. You're welcome, Kingsley Washington. Thank you so much for joining, Kingsley. I appreciate you. I welcome every one of you that has been able to connect, and those who are yet to connect, please, as you join the platform, kindly like the program and share. Like the program and share. Make sure you share on your platform. Make sure you share to family and friends. Make sure you share to at least one person as you join this platform. Share so that we can be able to reach to as many people as possible. You know that on this very social media, that our informations are being withheld. Most of the time, we are being caged. They do not want us to send messages across. The only way we can be able to break those barriers is by you giving us your utmost support. It is by the support you are giving us that is going to work, what is going to make us to extend our boundaries. So you must have to help us to share this program, share on your platform, share to family and friends, share to anybody that you know that is close to you. Share to them so that they can be able to hear us, join us, and hear what message we have for them today. We must continue to set the record straight. We must continue to do what we are supposed to do. Remember, in this very platform, every time we come online, what we do here is to encourage the Biafran people. What we do here is to sensitize the Biafran people. What we do here is to share views among the Biafrans. What we do here is to let the world know the true situation of things in that contraption called Nigeria. We do not come here to instigate violence. We do not come here to preach hate. We don't come here to preach propaganda or lies. What we do here is to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. We speak the truth without being politically correct. We say it exactly the way it is. If you are looking for a place where words will be painted for you, not here. I am here for the Biafran people. I am here representing the Biafra Republic government in exile. I'm here making sure that every lie is against the Biafrans, every lie against our Prime Minister Mazi Samanepa, every lie against our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, every lie against the Biafran people is trashed. That is what we do on a daily basis on this platform. So we have come once again to do what we know how to do best, encouraging Biafran people to remind the Biafrans of their legitimate rights. Very important rights that they must not give out to anybody. The right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life. These are your rights that you're not supposed to gamble with. These are your rights that you must not play with. These are your rights you must not give out to anybody, regardless who he or she is. That is why we have come today, to continue to speak on that right. And I will beg you, wherever you are watching this program from, please kindly like and share. Share on all platforms. Share to family and friends. Share to anybody that you feel that must have to hear us. That is the way we can be able to overcome the challenges we are seeing. When you look at our viewers, they are trying to cage us to make sure we don't reach out to many people. Sometimes we struggle to get as much as 20 people or 30 people, which is not supposed to be so. In a platform where we have thousands of subscribers, but they do not allow the notification to go to them. It's an attack against the struggle. It's an attack against the media. But they cannot cage us, no matter how they try. William Innocent, you're welcome, Williams. No matter how they try, they cannot cage us. They are always trying to cage us and make sure that the information doesn't go out, because they know that what we are speaking is the truth and nothing but the truth. And they know that as long as we remain online and we are talking, as long as we continue to reach out to Biafran people, that Biafran people will not give up. So we will continue to speak. We will continue to talk. We will continue to sensitize Biafran people regardless what they do. Today, every Biafran today finally have accepted their fate on the pursuit for freedom. Every Biafran today have united themselves in pursuit of freedom. We are connected together. Our hearts is one place. Every one of us is committed to freedom. Ebere Peters, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. In that commitment that we have all made today to free ourselves, there is no doubt about it. One of the joy that I have today is that for a very long time they have said that we don't have a leader. For a very long time they have preached this falsehood and lie and say that the Biafrans do not have a leader, that we cannot unite, that we cannot speak in one voice, that we cannot stand. But I can tell you that today we have made that their belief false. In a situation where you have more than 80% of people standing firm and pursuing one thing, in a situation where you have 90% of a group of people pursuing one agenda, are you going to say that those people are not united? Are you going to take because of 10% out of 100 and you say that the people are not united? It is only a wicked person and a deceiver that will make that kind of illustration. And that is what we have continued to see. Each time they come, they will pick one or two people who are being sponsored by the politicians. They will pick one or two people who cannot control their greed, who cannot control their belly, who cannot control their lust for money. They pick one of those to speak against what the majority wants. They use them to push those lies. You're welcome, Eze. Thank you so much. And when they push those lies, they try to convince the world that these people, they cannot work together. They cannot unite. But today, you have seen it much more clearer that the ordinary Biafrans have united in one voice against all odds. In every difficult circumstances, they are standing firm and speaking and saying that they want to be free from the zoo. Today, the unity of the Biafran people is outstanding. Annex Anyanwu, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Our unity today is outstanding. They can continue to deny it. They can continue to pretend. They can continue to deceive themselves. But I tell you, it does not change the fact that the Biafrans have made their choice on what they want. We have decided that we're going to be free, and freedom we will get. Chukwu Okike Abiyama, who made this program available for us, he programmed this time that we are in. And after Chukwu Okike Abiyama have programmed this time, he handed it over to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu preached this time that we are in. He preached it. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu sensitized the Biafran. He went at the extent of even sensitizing those who are not Biafrans. Biafrans and Biafran friends, more especially our Oduduwa brothers, for them to stay awake, to defend their territory and protect themselves. That was why the Oduduwa people rose up when they rose up, and they were working to protect and defend their land. And I believe they are still doing so. But when it comes to this issue of Biafra, the responsibility of securing the life and property of their people is on their shoulders. We realize that Chukwu Okike Abiyama gave us an assignment to rescue and redeem everybody in that contraption called Nigeria. And we have taken up that challenge. That is what we are going through today. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu laid a perfect foundation for us to follow. He laid a foundation. A sound foundation. All you need to do is to key into that foundation, and you find yourself in Biafra. That is why when I see people today who are still waiting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to speak from DSS, I call them wicked souls. That is the only way I can describe them. These are heartless and wicked people. Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, while he was with us, he committed every single thing at his disposal to see that the information get across. He educated us. He gave us the whole details on how Biafra will come and how we're going to choose Biafra. One of the most common words you must always have at the back of mind is that consistency is the key. Mazen Nandekano gave us that as a memory verse. Consistency is the key. You must not forget that. You have to remain consistent in your request. Because it is your consistent request that will make your request to be granted. Not when you ask today, tomorrow you are doing different things. Today you are asking for freedom. The next minute you are asking for president. The next minute you are asking for vice president. The next minute you are asking for senate president. The next minute you are asking for senator. That will not lead you anywhere. The only thing that can guarantee our safety is our persistence in pursuit of freedom. And I thank you that on the aspect of sensitization, our Supreme Leader Mazen Nandekano did an excellent job. That is why if I see people today who say they are confused, people who are still talking about one Nigeria, it is either they are protecting their wickedness, they are protecting their evil loot, it's either they are protecting their stolen money, or they have become so scared of the unknown. That is only why anybody in Biafra now will be talking about one Nigeria. Because there is nothing that is called one Nigeria. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There is nothing called one Nigeria anywhere. Nigeria that you hear about is a company that belongs to the British. It is a company that belongs to the British. And the British are only using the Fulanis to oppress and suppress every other indigenous person. It is a well-planned strategy. From the onset, how can you imagine that people who never asked for independence were handed over independence when the time came? How can you imagine that the people that are well-trained, educated, who pursued the freedom of the people, who requested for independence, all of a sudden, when you claim you wanted to give that independence, you handed it over to people who said, we do not want to be independent? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. Somebody is pursuing something that this is what I want, this is what I need. And all of a sudden, when it comes to the time that what he wants has to be given to him, instead of giving it to him directly, you gave it to somebody who said that what you are given is not even important. That is what happened in Nigeria. And they did that in order to rule the indigenous people by proxy with the Fulanis. That is exactly what is happening today. The British clutches on Nigeria is so strong that the only thing that can break it away is the breakup of Nigeria. Some of them, so many people know this truth, but they are not bold or brave enough to speak about it. The only people that are brave enough to talk about it are the Biafran people. Because we know who we are. We know where we are coming from. The fight today to liberate West Africa from the hand of colonial master, was started by the Biafran people. Biafrans, we started the fight. But people's eyes were shuttered. People, out of envy and jealousy, limited their mind to something different. They thought it was about them. The establishment of the state of Biafra is a threat to the British, and they know it very well. The greatest threat that the British have is the state of Biafra, and that is why they are doing everything to put a stop to it. If not, tell me, how can a citizen of Britain, a British citizen who traveled with British passport, who has a clean record in Britain, we have never had any day where they said that the police invited Mazen Nandekano anywhere for interrogation. We never had. We never had any day when they said that police arrested Mazen Nandekano in the UK. Never. An innocent citizen got a visa with British passport, flew from Britain, entered into Kenya, stamped in. And what next happened? They kidnapped him. After kidnapping him, they tortured him for good 8 days. After torturing him for 8 days, they took him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition, even when he has British passport with him. He is a British Biafran, not even a Nigerian. But this man was sent to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. British was aware. British were aware that their own citizen was kidnapped in Kenya. They were aware that their own citizens' right was abused in Kenya. They are aware that their own citizens was extraordinarily renditioned to Kenya, to Nigeria. But they didn't bother, because after all, Nigeria is their company. Nigeria is their company, playing their bidding. As if that is not enough, that their citizen passed through the law court and he won his case in that same Zoological Republic where he was kidnapped and abused. He won them in the court, and the court gave order: release this man and do not try him in any other court. Send him back to wherever he got him from. An express order from the court of the zoo. And the British still remain silent. We are talking about a British citizen with British passport. Kidnapped. He wasn't kidnapped with Nigerian passport. He was kidnapped with British passport. That was what he traveled with. They brought him to Nigeria. And British that own Nigeria as a company, they kept silent. Now, do you now understand that Britain is part of the kingdom of Azanadikano? And the Britain are seeing Biafra as a threat. The United Nations have issued a statement that say, let Mazen Nandekano go. He's innocent. Since this, for more than 2 years, a British citizen, for more than 2 years, have remained incarcerated. Britain have not issued any strong statement. Instead, Britain is busy building their company called Nigeria. They are busy strengthening their bilateral relationship. They are busy sponsoring terrorists and milking the resources more. And you that call yourself a Biafran, you are seeing this. You are not troubled. Even you that is an indigenous person in that contraption, you see what is happening. You see injustice being melted against your own fellow citizens. You are not worried. You don't care because it's not happening to you. Let me tell you, injustice against one is injustice against all. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time if you get your own doorstep. When you see injustice done against someone and you didn't speak, wait for it. It's just a matter of time. It's going to get to your doorstep. And when it gets to your tongue, nobody's going to speak. Nobody will speak. Just like what is happening in the zoo today. The one that called himself the London boy, Peter Obi. Throughout his campaign, it was during that campaign that Mazen Nandekano won his case hands down. Throughout his campaign, he never one day requested for the unconditional release of Mazen Nandekano because of his innocence. He never mentioned it. He de-associated with himself with Mazen Nandekano. He is so scared that he doesn't want to mention anything that has to do with Mazen Nandekano. He tried to take himself away from it. Did Mazen Nandekano commit any crime? No. The courts himself said that he hasn't committed any crime. And yet, somebody who is supposed to be his own brother who speak on his behalf, contesting for president, never mentioned one day Mazen Nandekano in his mouth. Even when Mazen Nandekano had won his case in the court. And today, he himself is in the court today looking for justice. The same court where his own brother was denied justice and he refused to speak. Today, he is in that same court and he is expecting people to fight for him. He is in the same court and he is expecting to get justice in that same court. The same court where they denied your own brother justice. You kept silent. You didn't want to talk about it because of your selfish interest, because of your political interest. You didn't want to mention him. In fact, you joined the enemies and said that don't release him. You are part of the group that is saying that Mazen Nanegana must not be released until you finish your so-called election. And today, after you have denied your own brother justice, now look at you in the court looking for justice. And you think that Chukwu Okikabem will allow you to scale through. You are a dreamer. You are a dreamer. When we say injustice against one is injustice against all, this is it. Aloysius, you're welcome. That it's not happening to you today doesn't mean it will not happen to you. Don't say because it is not happening to you today does not mean it won't happen to you. It will definitely happen to you. And look at it. When it was time for you to call for the courts, the order of the court to be obeyed, he didn't speak about it. When it was time for you to cry out and ask for the rule of law to take effect, you did not speak about it. And today, it has come to your table. You are expecting to get justice from the same court where you promoted injustice against your own brother. The evil that men do, live with them. The evil that men do, live with them. The same fate is going to visit every one of them that call themselves politicians. Every politician today that is ganging up in secret places, trying to make sure Mazen Naneka is not released. Every politician today that is ganging up, holding meetings on how to attack our Prime Minister Mazen Samanepa. And you think after doing all that you'll be free. You can't be free. The same cup you used to measure for Mazen Samanepa, for Mazen Naneka, it will be used to measure for you. And your own is going to be terrible. I thank Chukwu Okikabem how far we have gone. And in every step they take, thinking that they're going to bring us down, they lift us up. Every one of us, we are aware when warning was given. When a pastor was preaching and warning them, they even threatened the pastor and the pastor began to change his tone. But we know the original message when it comes. Just like our Prime Minister have always said that when you bring a message and say Mazen Naneka said, that he is still going to filter it, and from the word, he knows what Mazen Naneka can say and what he will not say. He's not just going to copy it the way he just said it. In that message that pastor Iginla delivered, we knew that was the message from Chukwu Okikabem. Very clean and when he, with a plain heart, a clean mind, it was delivered uninterrupted. He warned them. He told them, do not ignore the cry of these people. That the voice you are hearing is not the voice of a baby. They called it a bluff. Pastor Iginla warned. He warned that this voice you are hearing is not the voice of a baby. Dialogue now. Dialogue now. A time will come when the king will come down from his high horse and he want to discuss, and there will be no room to have any discussion. Iginla warned. He told them, take away Mazen Nandekano. There are thousands of Mazen Nandekanos who are on the line. And he told them that there are much more dangerous men, people who are much more brutal than Mazen Nandekano on the wait. That if you succeed in taking Mazen Nandekano out, you will only unleash mayhem on yourself. That message was delivered. Black and white. In black and white, the way it was given to the man, that is how he delivered it. And I wish other messages would be delivered in such form. He never tried to corrupt the message. It was raw. That message is so. Till today, each time I watch that message, I see it clear. Even as of today, the message is coming to life. This is prophecy coming to life. He told them, Take away Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you see more forces, more than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, what is happening? Our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, today is in charge. The Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Exile is in charge. Today, IPOB is no longer that baby, you know. IPOB now is a government. And remember, Igilla said that the very first time in that dream, in that revelation, they showed him a lamb, a young lamb. He was shown a young lamb. The very first time he got the revelation that it was a lamb he was shown, a young lamb. The IPOB, a young lamb. Our spirit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a young lamb. But in the second revelation, he saw that that lamb has grown to a lion. That lamb grew up and became a lion, fierce. He grew to a fierce lion that cannot be stopped. Today, what are you seeing? Today, what are you seeing? IPOB today has grown to a government, no longer organization. IPOB today have grown to a government, fierce. Today, the government of Biafra Republic of Exile is in charge under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the lion. Fierce. You thought you take away Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and everything will die down. Today, the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is setting a high standard. A very high standard you can't be able to catch up with. The unsolvable mathematics, that is what is giving them on daily basis. In the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, is that every single step you take turns against you. Every single move you make turns for his own good. It doesn't matter whether you push propaganda, whether you push blackmail, whether you talk, whether you don't talk, if you remain silent, if you do anything, you don't do it. It is all working for his own good. That is how fierce it is today. That was the revelation that was seen by Pastor Iginla. Coming out blue, black and white. That is nothing is removed from that very prophecy. And he told them, a time will come when you will seek for the people to come and sit with you and talk. They say, no, it is over. And that is the time that we are in today. The Prime Minister of Biafra Republic have set a high standard for them. He has given them unsolvable mathematics. They are running from pillar to pole. Today, every single one of them is on the run. Ohaneze Ndigbo, they are scared to their feet. They are seeking his attention, right, left, and center, making connections, including involving diplomats to see him. But there's no way. The governors are making moves, paying money, bribing people right, left, and center to get across to the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Mazi Simon Ekpa. There's no way. They went spiritual to get him. They couldn't reach him. They went physical to get him. They couldn't reach him. They went to the extent of sending terrorists to take him out. They couldn't succeed. They wrote petition to the governments of the world. It couldn't work. They wrote to the United Nations. They wrote to Amnesty. They wrote different places. The more they write, the more they make him popular. In the midst of those writing and petition, he was given an ambassador of peace. All things work for good to them that lost Chukwukabiam. As long as he is standing on the truth, you will always excel. Once you are truthful, you don't need to make noise or make research on what to say or what to do. But if you are lying, you will need 1,000 lies to cover one lie. That is why today, Mazi Simon Ekpa is making exploit. Every single step they take to go against him catapult him to the highest level. Each move they make to bring him down sends him up the more. And the latest we are hearing today, the new advertisement they are advertising today is taking him to the highest level. The latest one now is Nigerian government himself approaching Russia on behalf of Biafra. Today, Nigerian government is acting as a spokesperson of Biafra to Russia. Unimaginable, unbelievable. Can you imagine that? Can you beat that advertisement? You see, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a very strong prophet. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, a time will come when we don't have to advertise ourselves. A time will come when they themselves will seek for our attention. They will advertise us. They will come for us. And today, can you believe that Nigerian government today, Nigerian government is standing and speaking on behalf of Biafra, telling Russia about Biafra. Nigerian government today is promoting our Prime Minister of Biafra, Mazi Simon Ekpa, to the Russians, thinking that they are bringing us down. They went ahead to approach Russia, and they are telling Russia, don't listen to Simon Ekpa. He is not in charge of Biafra. He is not in charge of Biafra land. He doesn't have any control over the Biafran people. That he's just making noise. In one phase, they have let Russia know that Biafra is alive, very much alive. They have just advertised Biafra to Russians and tell them that Biafra is very much alive. But they are not in good terms with the leader. Telling Russia that Mazi Simon Ekpa is not in charge. It's like you're talking to a baby. Russian state that we know have all the information they need. The state of Russia, they have all the technology to know what is going on in Biafra land. And they are following events. I bet you they are following events. You don't need to tell them who is in charge or who is not in charge. They know who is in charge. They know he's in charge. Our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is on international level. He is not on your local level. He has been getting recognitions right, left, and center before now. And when you come and you say Mazi Simon Ekpa is not in charge, who is in charge? Who is in charge of Biafra land? Who is in charge of Biafra? Is it your politicians? Of course not. Not the politician. Is it the Department of Sobotua? Of course. Not those invisible men. The visible people you can see. The last commander of Biafra that we can see is Mazi Simon Ekpa, whom the supreme leader of IPOB handed over authority and said, continue to pilot the affair of Biafran people until I join you. The only person that has the legitimate authority as a leader in IPOB today, from the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to date, is Mazi Simon Ekpa. Undoubtedly. If you can tell yourself the truth, from the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi, he was the only person that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu mentioned. He was the only person he mentioned and said, go and speak to Biafran people. If you don't know what it is to give an authority, if you don't know what it is to give somebody a power of attorney, go and verify. All things work for good to them that love Chukwu. And I bet you, because we are working with the mandate of Chukwu, every single step they take works for us. When they make a move and think they are blackmailing us, when they make a move and think they are trying to put us in trouble, when they make a move and they want to bring us down, they don't know they are lifting us up. When they think there is a falling down, only then and then they will see there is a lifting up for the Biafran people. Our Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Nigeria, Mazi Simon Ekpa, has set a very high standard. He has set a very strong mathematics that I can never be able to solve. One of those mathematics he gave to them is they sit at home. They sit at home. Every Biafran obeyed the sit at home, including government officials, with the governors inclusive. What do you have to say to that? As you are telling Russians, you are telling Russia that Mazi Samarka is not in charge. But Mazi Samarka gives order on the sit at home and everybody obeys, including the politicians, the governors, and whatever, even the police, the force. They obey the sit at home. It is not because I'm saying it. The Senate president confirmed it. The Senate president in the Senate confirmed it. He's on video. He's on video where he said that everybody in the South is obey the order. And that is why after that revelation was made, they begin to try to see how they can be able to take a lie and put on it. That is why they are running helter-skelter. Who begin to come and talk about non-state actors. And I asked them, non-state actors, which state are you talking about? Are you talking about state of Nigeria or state of Biafra? The only state that we are talking about that we know is the state of Biafra. And in the state of Biafra, the Biafra Republic Government in Exile is the only actor that we know. Biafra Republic Government in Exile is in charge. The de facto government in the whole land is in charge. And the Prime Minister has the final say. That is what is playing out today. And they can't handle it. They went to the extent of printing poster. They printed a poster with the head of Mazen Nandekano and said that sit-at-home has ended. In the midst of their poster, Mazen Nandekano sent a message to Mazen Samarep and said, stand your ground. The Supreme Leader of IPOB said, I have no faith in Nigerian judiciary. This is the kind of things you can hear from Mazen Nandekano. Not follow the politician, not I thank the politician for it, politicians are doing something on my behalf. That is a blatant lie. The message of Mazen Nandekano is, I have no faith in the political system of the Zuluka Republic. My faith is in the Biafran people. Hold your ground. Whatever you're doing, intensify in it. I know with you, I will be out. That is the message from Mazen Nandekano. And not the criminals that are coming to tell us that politicians are doing something on behalf of Mazen Nandekano, even when they are doing nothing. Which politician? Is it the same politicians? The same people that the release of Mazen was mentioned in the Senate and it was thrown out. In the Senate, the release of Mazen Nandekano was mentioned and it was thrown out. There wasn't any uprising. If these people were sincere, at the moment they mentioned the release of Mazen Nandekano, they should have had a walkout. If they refuse to hear it, they have a walkout. Releasing Mazen Nandekano, you are only telling government to do what they are supposed to do. And the law, you made the law. These are lawmakers. They call themselves lawmakers. You made a law. And through your law, your own brother passed through that law and was granted freedom. Your own brother passed through that law and they say he's innocent. And yet, the government, the presidency refused to implement that very law. Instead of you getting angry to force the president to implement the law, you are now dancing with the president. How can this set of people be working for Mazen Nandekano? How can? People who never raised a placard one day to say, free Mazen Nandekano. They never made a placard one day to say, free Mazen Nandekano. Instead, they went and made a placard and say, stop the sit-at-home to free Mazen Nandekano. How can Mazen Nandekano tell you that these people are working for him? And I think it's becoming much more clearer. Some people who were dumb initially are now becoming to see it clearly. That the only genuine people today fighting earnestly to free Mazen Nandekano is the Biafra Republic Government in Exile. And we will continue to do so. We will continue to do so. until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is freed. I thank Chukwu Okike Abiama for the level he has placed us and the standard he gave us. I thank Chukwu Okike Abiama for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding he gave to our Prime Minister. I thank Chukwu Okike Abiama for the protection he has given to our Prime Minister. No matter how they try, no matter what they do, no matter their propaganda, their blackmail, they cannot stop him. The more they try to stop him, the more they make him stronger. That is what is happening. It's a fact. Undeniable fact. Go and check. Since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped up today, every attack you make against Mazi Simon Ekpa sends him up there. And the recent one that you are seeing, the recent one that I've just talked about, is the one that have to marvel you. The recent one, the recent move they just make now. The recent move, these are the people, initially they were talking, they were miscreants. They say he's nobody. They call him Mr. Nobody. They say that thing in Finland. They call him different kinds of names. They say he's nobody. Nobody knows him. But today, that man you call nobody, you have went ahead to advertise him to the Russian government. Nigerian government itself going to advertise Mazi Simon Ekpa to the Russians. And you are telling the Russian government that Mazi Simon Ekpa doesn't have influence in Biafra, that they should disregard him. The same Russia you want to engage in battle in Niger. The same Russia you want to engage in battle in Niger. In 1967, you were able to use our oil to make bargain. Not anymore. 1967, you used our oil to make bargain against us. And I believe the Russia, they know better than you do now. The Russians should be able to know the owners of the land. As the Niger people are standing their ground to take over their resources, the same way Biafran people are standing to take over their resources. And thank you for that advertisement that you just made, letting the Russians know that Mazi Simon Ekpa is in charge. Because by that move they made, they have just ended up in letting the Russians know there is somebody in Biafra land who can stand his ground and make things happen. And I tell you, the way Biafra is going to come is going to be like a miracle. Just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, that Biafra is going to come like a miracle. The last miracle on the planet Earth. It will come in such a way that no man will take the glory. When you look at it, you say, oh, it's only God. And I can see it play out. Today, when you look at things that are happening in West Africa, you see that Chukwu Okike want to keep our enemy busy. That company called Nigeria, Chukwu Okike want to give them assignments, keep them busy while the Biafrans defend and protect their territory. It is going to happen. Chukwu Okike is going to give this evil empire an assignment. The British Empire, the British company called Nigeria, Chukwu Okike is going to fetch for them an assignment. Before they can be able to resolve that mathematics, we are gone and gone for good. It is going to happen. And I see them by themselves laying the foundation. You see them laying the foundation by themselves. Is it the same British that wants the downfall of Russia? And now you went to give Russia a clue that there is some people who are not in support of the British colonization of Nigeria. You cannot bargain with our oil. If your aim is to bargain with our oil, it cannot happen again. Not anymore. Not in this 21st century. You cannot make any bargain with the oil from Biafra land. You can't. If that is what you have in mind, you are a dreamer. Keep dreaming. It's not going to happen. We are going to defend our territory and protect it. And every ally that we need, we are going to get them. And some of them, you are already linking us to them. You are already linking us up to them. There's nothing that will stop the disintegration of Nigeria in 2023. Nigeria must disintegrate, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, it must disintegrate. And this your rapport with your so-called ECOWAS will help it to become a reality. Tinubu and his ECOWAS massage is going to help it to be a reality. Because already the ECOWAS is already gone. It's already gone. From all we're seeing, it's already gone. They are nowhere. We're only waiting for the dissolvement to be announced. And the new dawn will spring up. And in that new dawn, Biafra will be there. Biafra will be there. It is a situation that is unavoidable. The earlier you embrace it, the better. Biafra have come to stay. Continue to push your propaganda, your blackmail, your lies. Continue to speak all manner of jargons. You can't stop what is coming. You cannot. You cannot stop it. No matter how you try, you cannot stop it. This is a mandate that has been given by Chukwu. And because we are working with time, because Chukwu chose people that knows time. For those of us who are Christian, there was a place that where Bible talk about people that knows the time. There was a place in the Bible where Chukwu talked about people that know the time, people that work with time. And I thank Chukwu he gave us leaders that work with time. Mazen Nandekano was timely when he started the sensitization. He was timely when he began to prepare ground for self-defense. He was timely when he began to prepare the ground for handover. Mazen Nandekano was very, very timely. Timely from the time he started the agitation. He started and continued to move forward. When he began to ask for self-defense, when he went to the US and told them, give me arms to prepare for what is coming, he was timely. Even as they were delaying, he went his way and gave us a self-defense, gave us a security outfit, ESN. It was timely. It was very, very timely, on time. From then, you begin to see Omoteku and every other one springing up. And when it was time to make a handover, it was very, very timely. He prepared himself. He announced Master Samuel the new dimension. He announced it. He didn't hesitate for 1 second in announcing it. When he got that revelation, when that revelation and knowledge came to him, and he saw it clearly, it wasn't a guesswork. He knew this is he. The same way John the Baptist recognized Christ when he saw him and said, this is the Lamb of God in whom Chukwu is well pleased. The same way John the Baptist recognized Christ, that was where Mazen Nandekano recognized Mazen Samuel when he saw him. He wasn't jealous. He didn't go to compete with him. And remember, when John the Baptist respected Christ, he saw Christ and respected Christ. Even his own disciples were wondering. At a stage, the disciples of John the Baptist were worried. Why is John the Baptist allowing this man to take over him? That is how human beings are. Except you are spiritually inclined, you can be able to fall in line when you see spiritual things happening. And the spiritual control the physical. If you don't have spiritual sight, sometimes you begin to fight a lost battle. During the time of John the Baptist and Christ, the disciples of John the Baptist were not even willing to follow Christ. They weren't even willing. Just like what we are seeing today. Even when John the Baptist have told them that this man that is coming is going to baptize you with fire, not with water anymore. Even when John the Baptist confessed to them and told them this is the Messiah, the person I'm preparing the way for, still yet, the followers of John the Baptist refused to accept Christ. They refused. That was why at a stage, they got angry. They were jealous. Why is this man performing miracle and doing all sorts of things? I were asking John. That is what we are seeing today. There are some people today, even when Mazen Nandekano have told them, follow this man, listen to him, share his videos. He is bringing a new dimension. Yet they don't want to listen. They prefer to remain in that their old wine. They prefer in that their comfort zone, that place where they are being recognized as a king. They feel threatened that in this new era, in this new dimension, that they are not involved, instead of them to try to make themselves useful in that new dimension. Make yourself useful in that new dimension. They didn't. Instead, they became jealous. They feel threatened, and they begin to unleash some unnecessary attacks. That is how human being is being structured. That is why Chukwuokama regretted why he created man. Chukwuokama regretted why he created man. Because these are ungrateful beings. Even when you are doing something to favor them, they wouldn't want it. Something that when you are fighting for them, they fight against you. So whatever you are seeing happen today has happened in the past. All you need to do is to open up your inner mind and inner brain and accept the fact. When you accept the fact the way it is, then you begin to see the reality of things and how it's supposed to be. But the more you continue to deny the fact, the more you continue to hide under denial and pretend you are not seeing something, when the thing is pointing at you very, very open, clear in your face, your pretense will only lead you to your early grave. The pretense you are pretending, it will lead you to your early grave. The earlier you accept the reality of today, the better for you. And the reality of today is that we have a new dawn, a new sheriff in town. The new sheriff in town is our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Today, the command falls on his table. He is the man in charge today. It is his responsibility to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is freed unharmed. It is his responsibility to make sure that Biafra becomes a reality in 2023. And for Mazi Simon Ekpa, he's not concerned about any other thing you're talking about. That is why he's not paying attention to your blackmail propaganda, because you are playing your own role. I said it in one of my broadcasts that every single one of us as Biafrans have a role to play in the fulfillment of the prophecy of Biafra. Every one of us have a role to play in the fulfillment of the prophecy of Biafra. So it's left for you. It is that you are fulfilling prophecy on the negative side, or you are fulfilling prophecy on the positive side. You must belong to one side. There are some people who will fulfill prophecy of Biafra in the negative side. And let me tell you, they are doing what they have to do. That is why certain times you see some people behave in a certain way. You get angry, don't get angry too much. Because without them doing what they are doing, Biafra might not come. Those negative ones, those who are fulfilling prophecy on the negative side, that prophecy of negative prophecy must be fulfilled by someone. And those people who have made themselves available are playing their own role. Let them go ahead. And those of us who are fulfilling prophecy on the positive side, remain steadfast, consistent in your path. And you're going to enjoy the fruit of your labor. That is how it is. That is how it is. The evil ones will always be there. They will always be there. There are people that will fulfill prophecy on the negative side. Just like I always give example about Christianity, because that is where I belong. I'm a Christian. So when I give my example, I draw my example from Christianity. You look at how Judas betrayed Christ. Didn't you know that Judas was fulfilling prophecy? Judas was fulfilling prophecy, but on the negative side. Judas played a very strong role to your salvation. In case you don't know it now. The role of Judas is important for salvation to come to Christians. Because if Judas had not betrayed Christ, if Christ was not crucified, then your salvation will not be guaranteed. But Judas, because of his greed, envy, and jealousy, because of his love for money, he made himself available to fulfill prophecy on the negative side. Even when he was thinking he was doing it ordinarily for fancy. Judas betrayed Christ, not because he wanted Christ to be killed. No. Judas betrayed Christ, not because he wanted Christ to be killed. The purpose of Judas to betray Christ was to commit 419 against the people and take the money. If Judas had known that Christ would be crucified, he would never ever he would never ever sell him. Judas never believed that Christ would be crucified. He never believed. He believed that Christ is the Messiah. He believed that Christ has the power. He believed that Christ cannot be detained. He cannot be executed by anybody. He knows. He had that conviction within him that this man has an anointing. But what he did not know is that prophecy must come to pass. What he forgot to know is that there is a prophecy ahead. And for that prophecy to be fulfilled, that this man must go down. And he gave himself. While he was focusing on collecting the money from the people, so that maybe when they want to come and hold on Christ, Christ will disappear. Or Christ will send legions of angels to fight for himself. That is what he had in mind. And for the fact that he collected the money, all he needs to do is to show them where Christ is, collect his money, and he goes and enjoy his money. He didn't know that he was fulfilling prophecy on the negative side. And after he has betrayed Christ, to show you that his intention was not to kill Christ, to show you that his intention was not to harm Christ in any way. Judas' betrayal of Christ was not to harm him. It wasn't to harm him in any way. When he realized finally that Christ could not invite angels from heaven to fight for him, when he realized that Christ have offered himself to be crucified, when he realized that Christ is in the hand, has been taken away, Judas could not hold it. He went and committed suicide. He went and committed suicide to show you that his intention was not to sell that man to be killed. No. He never believed that he would be killed. His intention was just to get the money. It was just for the money. It was just for the money and money alone. But at the end of the day, he fulfilled prophecy in the negative side. And today, Christians got their salvation. Judas was not even, he didn't even have the opportunity to be alive and receive forgiveness. Because if he had not committed suicide, when Christ was on the cross and he prayed and said, "Father, forgive them, for they know what they do," that prayer would have saved him. But Judas committed suicide even before that prayer was made. At the last minute, when Christ was about to give up the ghost, he said, he prayed for everyone that have sinned against him in any way, any manner. It doesn't matter what role you played on the crucifixion. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do." That prayer covers everybody that was involved, except Judas, who took his own life before that prayer was made. You see, that is how dangerous it is to fight a battle with Hugo Gabiam. That is how dangerous it is to make yourself available to fulfill prophecy on the negative side. It is very dangerous. It is very dangerous. If you are being used to fulfill prophecy in negative side, it is very dangerous. Sometimes it is even better that you were not born. Because the crime, the offense, the punishment is so severe that when you are punished, you will not have any source of reincarnation. Just like Judas. Judas played his game. He thought he was smart. He collected the money. His smartness got him into trouble. He threw away the money. He threw away the money. Even he went ahead to return the money. Judas went back to return the money they gave him. That money that he collected to save Christ. When he saw that Christ has been taken away, he went and gave back the money. They refused to collect the money. They refused to collect the money. To show you how pained he is. But because of his greed, his envy, his love for money, he went and sold the Messiah. And you see the consequence for Judas. Judas committed suicide. He didn't have the opportunity to receive forgiveness. He didn't have, and he cannot reincarnate. He didn't have the opportunity. This is the same thing that happens to every single person that allows himself to fulfill prophecy on the negative side. As we are talking about Biafra today. We are talking about Biafra. Because of your envy and jealousy, you channel your energy on fighting against the will of Chukwu Okike Abiyama to make Biafra a reality. Because you hate Master Simon Ekpa. You have become an informant against Biafra because you are making unnecessary competition with Master Samuel Ekpa. You have spoken against Biafra, against the will of Chukwu Kabiyama, because of your brother, your friend, because of food you eat, because of your neighbor, because of cheap things they give you, because of ordinary card they give you, because of card they give you, recharge card. You speak against the will of Chukwu Kabiyama. Even when you know the truth, you continue to yield to the negative part of fulfillment of prophecy. You continue to yield to the negative part of prophecy. I tell you, when the punishment of that negative move is going to come, it will be so grievous that you will not reincarnate after it happens. That is how dangerous it is. That is why when I see those of them today, who will come and say, I love Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is our spiritual leader. And yet, they are fighting against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu indirectly, because every attack against Mazen Samuel Ekpa is against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Every single attack you bring against Mazen Samuel Ekpa is directly attacking Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And when you attack Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you know what it means. You are attacking the project of Chukwu Kabiyama. And no man fights against God and be the same. You cannot fight against your God and be the same. Only put it use or also. Every one of us should be careful. Be careful what you do. Be careful the role you are playing. Ask yourself, are you fulfilling prophecy on the negative side or on the positive side? If you discover that you are fulfilling prophecy on the negative side, the earlier you run away from there, the better for you. You still have time. You still have time. Because a time will come when there will be no opportunity. A time will come when there will be no opportunity for repentance. As you can see, our prime minister have already activated the internal conflict. The internal conflict is ongoing now. When it gets to your turn, we will knock at your door. As you said, we will not have a home. You will not have a home either. As you destroy our business, your own business will be destroyed. You destroy our home, your own home will be destroyed. As you say, we will not live. You will not live either. Every one of us that is in the platform today, ask yourself a question. Are you fulfilling prophecy on the negative side or on the positive side? Find out where you are. If you're on the negative, find a way to run for your life. If you're on the positive side, stand firm. Do not shake. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I appreciate every one of us that have joined on this very platform today. Any place you are watching from, if you are watching from any part of the world today, I appreciate you. Please kindly like and share. Share this platform, share this very message on every platform. Share this message on every platform you can lay your hand upon. Share it there. Share to family and friends. Make sure you share to at least one WhatsApp group so that people can get the message. We are going home. We are going home. The earlier you understand it, the better. The mathematics that have been said by the Biafra program through Master Samuel Ekpa is unsolvable. They can't solve it. They will continue to make mistakes. Today they have announced us the Russians. They have decided by themselves, they went and draw allies to us. We are watching. And I bet you, at the end of the day, we will celebrate. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect all the Biafran people. Wherever you are watching from, I say, may Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect you. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect Biafrans and Biafran friends, wherever you are watching from Asia, Europe, America, Australia, from Biafra land, from any part of Africa. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect you. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect our BNL, guide and protect the Biafran Liberation Army, guide and protect the ESN. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect all our media warriors that are speaking on different platforms. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect the Umuada. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect all the members of the cabinet of Biafra Program Exile. May Chukwu Kabiyama guide and protect our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa, wherever he is. We pray that Chukwu Okike will continue to unleash legions of angels to guide him. He's going out and coming in. He will never touch his foot against a stone. Every hole they have dug for him, they will fall into it. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekano, wherever he is. We commit his health in the hand of Chukwu Okike. Every ill health in his body, may he be healed. May Chukwu Okike send doctors spiritually to continue to minister to Mazen Nandekano wherever he is. Every poison they have injected into his body, may Chukwu Okike neutralize it. May Chukwu Okike grant Mazen Nandekano divine revelations. Revelations that will build his strength more. Revelations that will let him know that we are standing 101% with him. Let the revelation come to him. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our Prime Minister, Mazen Nandekano, shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against Mazen Nandekano shall prosper. Thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast. Join me again in the evening on Chooks for Survival on my page on Facebook so that we can continue from there to spread this gospel. Thank you so much and stay safe. See you again in the evening. Bye-bye.